you guys. So I haven't been posting recently, and that's actually because of procrastination. There's no excuse, so I'm sorry for that. But today I actually wanted to make this video a little different. I wanted to tell you guys pretty much a story, well, not a story, but an event that has impacted me for forever. It changed my whole entire perspective on how I view things, and that is moving to Mexico. So I moved to Mexico in my high school years because of my dad's job. So I moved with my dad when I was about like 11-12 years old, and then right before freshman year started, he said we have to go to Mexico. I was so terrified. I was upset, I felt angry, I was leaving my whole friends that I've known for so many years. I was leaving my family too, so it was very, very hard. Mind you, I didn't know anybody in Cancun. I didn't have any family members in Cancun, Mexico. So it was just very hard to take in. So hard to take in that till this day my dad reminds me when we were on the plane to finally go to our house in Cancun. I looked at him in the eye and I told him that I hated him and that I would never forgive him for doing this to me. It was so bad. So yeah, I was very, very upset. Looking back at it, I felt like I was really depressed because I didn't talk to anybody. I was just very angry at the world. But slowly but surely, I've made friends and I met so many cool people, been to so many cool places, and I just love their culture. I felt like Mexico actually gave me more of an open-minded. I was very narrow-minded. I thought Miami was the only place that we should be living in, the only place that existed. I just thought America was just this is it. This is the best place that why would you even go live somewhere else? That was my mentality. But when I moved to Mexico, that totally I did not want to leave Mexico. I moved back to Miami in the beginning of senior year, but I didn't want to leave. I was just so it just felt like home to me. There's at one point where I actually felt I felt Mexican. I felt like I had Mexican blood. It was just I felt so at home. To this day I still talk to my friends from there, and they're my family to me. The food was delicious. I tried so many new foods to this day that I so crave. Anyways, when I got to Mexico, the first year, 2 to 3 months, like I said, I was very depressed, didn't talk to anybody, and I was very closed-minded. And this is actually trying to be as raw and honest as possible. But and mind you, I was also 12. So when I got to Mexico, I expected to see pretty much not white Mexicans. I thought just Mexicans were just tan, very tan looking skin. Yeah, just not blondes. There was people with just everybody else in this whole entire world. But definitely that was what? I was very shocked, because I didn't know anything else. That's just in movies, that's what you see. I don't blame myself for thinking that way, but definitely that was a huge shock to me. And then also I went to an American school, so my classes were English, and then some of them as well we had Spanish classes, so that was interesting too. And then I spoke Spanish. Thankfully I know Spanish because my parents are Cuban, so thankfully when my friends spoke to each other, I don't understand. So the first day, my friends told me that no one really wanted to come up to me that day because my face was just, it looked so angry. I looked really, really mad and not approachable. But anyways, I remember lunchtime I sat by myself and then I went to the bathroom and I cried. I was just so in denial of it. But I realized too, because my first language is actually Spanish, and then obviously going to school here in Miami, English became more fluent for me. However, in the schools in Cancun in Mexico, obviously their main language is Spanish, so they would talk to each other in Spanish. So that was also different because I would have to talk in Spanish. Eventually I got used to it, and it just became super normal to me to just talk to my friends in Spanish, and to the teacher, to socialize, I'm gonna talk in Spanish, which got me out of my comfort zone a lot, because obviously when I would socialize here we talk English. So definitely that was something that got out of my comfort zone. I had to do. And also I didn't know their slangs. So sometimes, let's say so here in Miami, Cuban would say coger. Coger means to get, right? So you say voy a coger mi banana, right? So over there, saying voy a coger mi banana, you're pretty much saying you're gonna have sex with your banana. You know, so that's something. So these are the things that I had to gradually learn, and that was like a very fun, you know, that was a very fun experience, because it like someone would look at me like, what are you saying? Like, so there's just some slangs that I had to learn. Eventually, I started to talk, be more comfortable, and just get to know, you know, my class. Which, by the way, my senior class had 40 students. We were a very small school. The school was actually that I went to was an American school. So what that means is that when you graduate, you actually have an American degree as well. So we had English classes, and we also had some Spanish classes too. It's so funny because my middle name is actually Melanie. So when I went over there, my PE coach called me Melanie. And I didn't say anything because I actually liked that name. The teachers, I don't know why they called you by my middle name. So I didn't like correct them. And then everybody just started calling me Melanie. So complete 360 change too, because now my identity, I felt like that has changed. I was fortunate enough to, you know, be in an area where safer than other places in Mexico. You know, we always have something to do. So either like going to the boat, going to like different town, just meeting new places, beautiful homes that I've been into. Like slowly but surely, I started to really truly fall in love. Like when I would go back to Miami to visit, like I would talk about Cancun. Like if you have a boyfriend and like you're in love, like that, like you're just like, da, 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 like, oh my gosh, like he did this for me, da, da, da. Like the love of my life was Cancun. Like I was just like talking so well, because I sincerely like loved it. I loved living there. So I've just had a lot of memorable events there. One time my friends came over. I have like a friend group. We're actually called Maine. My friend group came over to my house, and the plan was that we were gonna chill in my pool, and then we were gonna go to the club. Which, by the way, very normal to go clubbing there at the age of at least 15 years old, which was crazy to me, because I remember asking my dad at 15 years old to go to a club, and now I'm 20, and I look back and I'm like, yeah, of course I would have said no to my kid either, you know. But I thought, like, I mean, I hated my dad even more after he said no, because I'm like trying to, like, you know, fit in and like do what people do here, and he was like, no, you're not going out, and like I was just like, but eventually you know, he started to let me go. But at that time he still didn't let me go. I think I was about like 15-16 years old, and I would sneak out to go to the club. So I would sleep at my friend's house, and then we would go. But this time, I don't know why, I wanted to be like this rebel girl, or, you know, whatever. And my friends came over, we chilled at the pool, and then we wanted to sneak out to go to the club. But I have an alarm at my house that obviously when you open the door, it rings. So I had like this little controller. We have a controller to take out the alarm, but when you take off the alarm, it makes a noise too. So I was risking it, like heavy risking it, because that noise is so loud. It is like the biggest snitch ever. You can't sneak my house in Cancun. So we were getting ready, blow drying my hair. My dad was like catering to all my friends. He was barbecuing for us. He was doing the most. Now I look back and now I feel terrible for doing that to my dad, because let me finish the story. So we're just getting ready. We're all dressed up, ready to go, and then I took off the alarm, and perfect, my dad didn't wake up, and I was going super smooth. So I think we got a taxi. The taxi took us to a stop, and then that stop had a bus that would go to the strip. So the strip is where all the clubs are at, and so we got dropped off, and right before going into the club, my dad calls, and he's just like, where are you? I looked in your room and you weren't there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, no. I mean, I sneaked out to go to like a restaurant, like right next, like, so you were gonna go to the club, weren't you? That's why I heard like a blow dryer, and like you were acting weird, and I just like freaked out. Like it was a whole total mess. So some of my friends, they stayed in the club. My best friend actually stayed with me at that time, so we got in trouble like technically together. I felt terrible. Like my dad made me feel like complete shit. Like he looked at me in the eye. I catered to your friends with love. Like how could you do this to me? I felt truly guilty. But yeah, so these are the events that like happened throughout, you know, my 4 years living in Mexico. Eventually my dad started to feel more comfortable me going out to the clubs. He started to see that it was actually very normal here. It's definitely a huge cultural change. but I loved it. I felt like home. To this day, though my friends are like family to me, I one bit regret going. I'm very, very happy that I did move with my dad over there and I got out of my comfort zone. And I 100% recommend to everybody get out of your comfort zone and go to somewhere else and like live for a year or two somewhere else that you know you have no idea about the culture. And I feel like not knowing anybody there from the beginning was actually really, really cool and beneficial to me, because I had to actually like push myself to get to know people. If I had like one person that I knew there, I probably would have just stick with that person and just like, you know, like be comfortable with that and not try to like meet other people. But not knowing anybody there really pushed me to like get to know people and like talk to people and just like venture out. So definitely recommend, if you are thinking of going to another country or another town or whatever, definitely recommend. It's gonna really expand your mind, because it expanded mine. And yeah, now I have friends in Mexico and it's cool. It's really cool and I loved it. Don't regret it. Thank you for watching.